key concepts in the Solenoid Invention Kit start with simple conductivity and circuitry. So we look at how batteries work, the basics of DC current, so concepts of voltage, resistance, and current, closed circuitry versus open circuitry, different materials that have conductivity or serve as insulators. Then we go into magnetism, so basic how do permanent magnets work, and then into electromagnets, where current is creating a magnetic field. So this course is offered to 7th and 8th grade students, and it's a mixed ability course and open to all students. The Solenoid Invention Kit takes about 10 class periods. We have 45-minute class periods, and so the first 5 of those students self-pace on the labs. They spend a day submitting a proposal to me about their project, and the final 4 class periods are used for the Invention Kit. Students for this unit need basic 2D design software skills. We use a program called Maker Studio. They also need to know how to operate the Silhouette die cutter. In this unit, there's also a lab where they are required to solder, so that's a technical skill they'll need as well. Students will also need to understand how to strip a wire to build their continuity tester. They'll also need to wrap their own solenoid. Lab number 1 is Introduction to Magnets and Materials, where students explore different materials and whether or not they respond to magnetism. Lab number 2 is constructing a continuity tester, made from an LED, a nickel battery, and 2 wires that are soldered together. Lab number 3 is detecting electromagnetic force. Lab number 4 is solenoids and electromagnetic force, where students understand that the electromagnetic force created by a current-carrying wire gets stronger when it's wrapped into a coil. Lab number 5 is electromagnetic actuation, where students take an electromagnet and have it interact with a permanent magnet. The Solenoid Invention Kit culminates in the first engineering design challenge, where students apply their knowledge from the labs to create an electromagnetically actuated pop-up card. Engineering design challenge number 1 begins with a proposal. I select their groups, and students must submit a plan for what their pop-up card will look like and how they'll apply the science of the lab to get the card to pop up. The proposal must be approved by me, and it's my way of knowing that they're jumping into the right ocean. I want them to dive into the deep end, but I want to make sure that they're headed in at least the right direction. After I approve their proposal, students are given a single piece of cardstock to act as their prototype, where they focus on the engineering of getting the card to pop up. Once it's popped up and it has a working prototype, they can then move on to Maker Studio and create the creative and artistic pop-up card. The final day of the project is Exhibition Day, where we as a class go from table to table where students exhibit their work. They're responsible for demonstrating the project and opening to questions and comments. I serve as an evaluator with a different student group at each table. If student groups are struggling to get their working prototype to pop up, I'll oftentimes have them go back to their labs, either their notes, or maybe we'll even revisit and physically do the lab again so that they get to see that concept again now that they've had time to struggle with it. One of the things I quickly realized the first time through the Invention Kits is that students really struggle to set a plan for their work and come up with an idea that worked. They kind of just dove right in and they didn't really know where to go from there. So the proposal was a solution to helping kids figure out a direction for where to go with their project. It allowed me to assess quickly, were they moving in the right direction? Another challenge that I've been working through is how to group students effectively. This is a mixed ability class, and so I'm always trying to find the right combination of kids in terms of academic ability and student habits and independence level. One of the overarching challenges we're seeing with the Invention Kits is that this is a very different classroom experience. Students have a way of being in a classroom, and this is a different experience. There's a lot more independence, it's a lot more hands-on, and that can be a big adjustment for a lot of different students, particularly if that's not what they're used to in every other class. One of the things I love about this Invention Kit is that there's numerous opportunities, and it's easy as a teacher to come up with extensions for kids, for those groups that really need a challenge or finish early. One example might be to wire up some basic circuitry to have an LED light up or several LEDs light up once the card is in its up position. This unit is so foundational to the series of Invention Kits. If students can master the key concepts and ideas in this unit, it's going to set them up for success in Invention Kit number 2. But if students don't fully understand the concepts at this point, they're going to see these same concepts in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Invention Kits. And so there's numerous opportunities for you to spiral as a teacher.
So the pop-up card project, when we started it, I was thinking that it was going to be really easy. And then we started to get into the project, and I noticed that it was getting a little bit harder for me, having to figure it out with my group. So we kept working on our ideas, and then eventually Mr. Martin told us that he had approved a project idea that would have failed. So we decided to create a new project idea with his help, and eventually that one started to work, and it was like a big relief to have a working project at the end of the month. I don't think I would have changed anything, because at first I was really frustrated that our idea had failed, but it was a good learning experience for me to know that, like, if I fail, if I try again, then I can eventually succeed and have a working project.